It's Wednesday. Waivers have ran for a lot of leagues, but waivers are still to run for a lot of other leagues. So we're still going to be talking waiver wire, and we're still going to talk waiver wire even after that because you're still going to be picking up players. So we're going to go over a batch of players to look at off the waiver wire. We're going to look at the good, the bad, the ugly, the advanced metrics, and everything else. I'm not going to try and sell you on these players. Look at the data, look at what I'm saying, and just pick up the ones that you want to buy. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're talking about the waiver wire every day. We talked about it yesterday, the day before. I'm helping you set your lineups with these videos. Everything else, click that button. Stop missing out, and it's every week too. But looking at our first player here, we're taking a look at Justin Fields, and he's an upside gamble every week. But the thing about this, we're going into a good matchup against Denver because the Steelers defense has been locked down. We got Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback there. Fields will have some good game scripts going his way. And what if we do a little bit better running the football? We had 14 rushing attempts, 57 yards, so 5.7 fantasy points just running the ball. 77.3% of his passes were catchable. It wasn't horrid. It wasn't bad. 17 for 23 passing. We weren't throwing it a lot, but we were also running it a good bit as well. And when you want that rushing production from your quarterback, so if you're looking at waiver wire quarterbacks and you're looking for some upside, he might still be there. Maybe not, but he might still be there on the waiver wire due to Russell Wilson looking behind the bushes trying to take that job back. But Justin Fields might be getting another opportunity this week. Isaiah Likely is a get off the waiver wire. He's a guy to get off the waiver wire. Don't do anything crazy though. I would drop my worst wide receiver. I would not draft a top 5 tight end off the draft rankings. I wouldn't do that. I would let things play out. Matter of fact, I wouldn't drop any high-end lottery ticket players for anybody off the waiver wire. I would hold those players on as long as possible until I need to make a move to create a lineup. But Isaiah Likely is a guy to get off the waiver wire. He's going to get opportunity. But another thing to note, Mark Andrews isn't dead. He usually does not perform well against the Chiefs. And the routes and the targets went to Likely due to the game script. But Likely's good. He's going to be getting opportunity. And say Likely runs bad and does not perform to fantasy prowess these next few weeks. If he only scores like 5 fantasy points in a game, he's still like few points away from being a tight end 1 for the week. So you're really shooting for that upside. He showed you that he can hit to that upside, and Isaiah Likely is one of the must-gets off the waiver wire this week. Colby Parkinson is a guy to look at, a guy to speculate on. Puka Nacua is out. The target's got to go somewhere. There could be some opportunity there. He saw 5 targets at 10.4% target share, but ran on 82.4% of the routes. He's getting opportunity. It may not lead to much, but he's also getting a 2.2 ADOT, but tight ends don't get a heavy ADOT anyways. But the volume's there, the routes are there, something to look at. J.K. Dobbins went off. He's got the pop in his step. We did the film study. We talked about him a few times this week. I look for him to gain more workload. He looked a little bit more efficient than Gus Edwards. The metrics are saying that too. 10 rush attempts, 3 targets, a 48.1 opportunity share. Everything's looking good so far. Luke Schoonmaker might be getting some opportunity, but Jake Ferguson more than likely or could be back. So that's something to note. Anybody playing tight end and getting considerable snaps in this offense is a guy to look at for fantasy, and that's just a note that we should leave with this situation. Baker Mayfield, 86.2% of his passes were catchable, 50% deep ball rate, so he's throwing it deep downfield and he's accurate with it. 29.7 fantasy points, and now he's got 3 good wide receivers instead of 2. That's more than most quarterbacks. The offensive line graded out well in this game. I get it. It was a great matchup for them. But still, if you're looking for a waiver wire quarterback, he's pretty trendy. He's pretty safe. We're at Detroit this week, so it's going to be a matchup where fantasy points can be fueled. Rashid Shaheed's a deep ball dandy. He's got the Will Fuller effect where he can go a few games and not give you anything fantasy point-wise, and then all of a sudden go YOLO, go ham, and be one of the top producers among wide receivers for fantasy football. He's a YOLO play, but sometimes you got to dig deep and pull one of those guys up off waivers. He's a guy to look at all year long. We're probably going to talk about him off waivers all year long. Bucky Irving got some opportunity. 9 rushing attempts, 3 targets. Looked good between the tackles. He's got some pop. If something happens to Rachaad White, he's going to get a lot of opportunity. He can hold it down and be fantasy relevant. I wouldn't say league winner, but he is a top-end 1B back going in for the rest of the season. Greg Dortch getting a lot of opportunity. Short targets, 8 targets in this matchup, though, and there's going to be games where he gets double-digit targets, and there's going to be games where it's just not going to be great for fantasy. But up and down, Greg Dortch is going to get volume. They talked about Greg Dortch all offseason long. He got the targets this week. Watch Marvin Harrison Jr., watch Wilson. Watch this passing game. This passing game was looking good in training camp. The ancillary pass catchers, not just Marvin Harrison Jr., was making plays as well. So targets are just going to free flow in his offense. Tank Bigsby showed up. He got 12 rushing attempts. He had that big run of 26 yards in the third quarter. After that, he earned 7 more rushing attempts. Prior to that, in the first half, he only got 4 rushing attempts, but after that big 26-yard run, he started to get more opportunity. The thing is, he outproduced Travis Etienne on the ground. Travis Etienne got the work in the passing game. This is a backfield to monitor going forward. You may want Tank Bigsby because he showed some pop on Sunday. Brandin Cooks, 7 targets, 22.2% target share. Michael Gallup's gone. This should not be a surprise. So in games where the ball's flowing, Cooks is going to get targets. He's a good guy to have on your bench. Jaleel McLaughlin's getting work in the passing game. He's looking better than Javonte Williams. He's getting more touches. He's going to be in game scripts where he's going to be catching the ball because Bo Nix ain't going to be serving up many leads for the Broncos right now until he develops further. But there's going to be matchups where he's going to be catching checkdowns. He should be rostered. We said to roster him. We said to draft him. But Jaleel McLaughlin, if he's sitting there off waivers, he's going to be running routes. He's going to be catching balls. And it just depends on the matchup how that ball is going to flow his way. Jalen McMillan, you got a deep target, but he was running a lot of routes, getting some opportunity. This was his first ever NFL game. He's been balling out all training camp long, and now he's serving it up in the NFL season. Ty Chandler's got a lot of upside here. Aaron Jones looked good. Nothing against him, but Ty Chandler's got the pop. He got 8 rushing attempts and 3 targets. He was getting work in the passing game. The game script lent for using Ty Chandler more in this game as well. It wasn't tight. It was kind of a blowout. They had it handled. That being said, Aaron Jones is the man. But can you bet confidently $1 million that Aaron Jones is going to play a full 17-game season? And Ty Chandler is already showing that he's going to get used in the passing game. He's explosive. Last year, he would have been more productive, but he had some runs called back, remember? He had some runs called back, and if that didn't happen, you guys would probably have him rostered by now. Tyler Johnson, the Rams ancillary pass catchers, Demarcus Robinson, Jordan Whittington. Tyler Johnson's going to get volume, 7 targets. Demarcus Robinson going to get volume. Jordan Whittington had a touchdown called back. He is the rookie that's just trending in training camp. You're just watching these pass catchers. One, you're going after Demarcus Robinson first, but he's going to be more expensive on the fab. So if you want to go cheaper, then go Tyler Johnson. You're just really plucking hairs there. Demarcus Robinson is the guy you're going after due to him being productive last year in a similar light after the injuries, but Tyler Johnson showed some life. Will be a little bit cheaper off the fab. Jordan Whittington free, but he's a guy that you're just waiting to see. Alexander Mattison is getting work in the passing game, looking very efficient. Got 5 rushing attempts, 6 targets, so he's acting like a satellite back there. So he's going to be getting some opportunities that way. Watch for Dylan Lobby when he comes back. He was out of this game. Zamir White ran on just 25% of the routes. If I had Zamir White, I would make sure I got Alexander Mattison or even Dylan Lobby on the cheap and just own this backfield. There's a good chance you're not starting either of these running backs 6 weeks from now, but still, that might be an insurance policy you might want to make. It's not a great one. It's not a great idea, but sometimes you got to do the dumb shit. And now we're looking at Justice Hill, 34.6% opportunity share, 1 rushing attempt, but he ran a lot of routes, and this is going to be matchup dependent. So games like the Chiefs where the ball's flowing on both ends, and also they got to push the pace, I think Justice Hill is going to get some targets. He's also going to be on the field more than expected. Derrick Henry, his workload will be scaled back probably the start of the season until they need to ramp it up. Justice Hill is going to get some opportunities. Will it be enough to be matchup dependent? It will be enough to play the matchups with to see what happens. Probably best for daily fantasy football and best for when you're in a pinch when bye weeks hit and injuries. But those are some of the waiver wire players we're looking at. We also talked about the wide receivers and the running backs yesterday. If you want to look at more running backs and wide receivers, I got you. But hit that subscribe button. I got more coming at you today. Don't miss out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.